It should. Happy Friday!
Happy Friday!
Hey, tonight we thought that we would spend a little time talking about the Spring Festival. This is the Spring Festival crew. So, yeah, that's right. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. But I wanted to start with a comment from Kent, who said, per your request, evening tag and D, and all of the fellow freedom fighters, welcome to another evening of our regular scheduled unprogramming information get together.
Perfect.
On the last live, I told him we should start every show with that. That was his comment. So
He's on the ball.
he is on the ball. Let me get rid of that. Try to here. There we go. Anyway, so let's talk about the festival, huh? Who wants to start? Jen, you've played a big role.
I don't want to start. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Put them in your lap.
Put them in my lap.
Yep.
I'm excited. We've been working diligently for the last couple of months.
So what's going to happen?
Including
Because I've really played no role in this.
Tag played the most important role. He said, will you do it?
It'll be
you're
gonna
super
do.
easy.
Yeah.
No problem. We didn't get voluntold.
I don't really know what's going on. So
Well, you played a very important role because we are having this here at your guys' farm, and you coordinated the building of this building that we get to have it in, and the gates that are going to keep us safe, and all the other stuff. So
yeah, but that's
super
living in the
important.
past. What's happening now?
What's happening now is, didn't you read the flyer?
I did, but all of these beautiful
Fun
folks out there
things.
listening.
We're going to plant. We've been contacting local businesses, and some of them are chain stores and things, and getting goodies. And we're going to go pick up some pallets of stuff on Monday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, surprise.
Yeah. I like anything that starts with pallets.
Right.
I don't care what it is.
We had to
Unless
bring
it's
the bottom
chicken
out.
Unless
Chicken feet, right.
Unless it's
So,
chicken feet, right.
Just seed starting and
Yeah.
fun games and.
So do you guys have a schedule worked
We
out?
do.
And you know what time and all of that kind of stuff, everything's supposed to happen?
To a degree, yeah.
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 Just like you do on a homestead, like you have a plan of when you're going to do things,
Okay.
and then that eventually you're going to do all these things.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And then, the military, no plan survives first contact.
Yeah,
We're
right.
hoping it'll go a little smoother than that.
So let's talk about the schedule. So talk about the schedule a little bit. What's coming?
Starts at noon, right? We've got stuff for the kids. We've got bubbles and sidewalk chalk and arts and crafts for the kids. And then we've got games, right? And we've got food.
Mhm.
So I think we've got all the bases covered.
Yes. When does food start? When does food prep start?
Food prep started already.
No, what I mean is
I
here.
already cooked a lot of roast beef and a lot of chicken.
Yeah.
Roast beef and chicken.
So when do you guys start the food prep for here?
On Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday?
Yeah, so dinner's at 4,
Okay.
but we have a couple of the activities before then.
Okay.
These very interesting shenanigan-based geniuses over here
Mhm.
came up with some really fun games. And
I'd expect no less from mine.
scavenger
Oh, I
hunts
thought you meant like
and-
Monopoly. You mean games like
Oh,
other games?
no, like the relay race. Like you have to cornhole to move to the next thing, and then get on a tricycle to get to the next thing, and then untie knots to get to the key.
So it's
to get to, yeah.
Physical activities.
It is a bit physical. There are some things that are not so physical, so there'll be participation levels for everybody.
And we made it
So-
age appropriate for everybody.
Yeah.
So the people that don't want to run can take straws, put them in their mouth, and transfer
Some
marshmallows
up with
from
the
one
vacuum and
place
get
to
so
another.
many in
Something
the
for
cup before they
everybody.
can move on to the next one.
So multiple people do the same.
So
Stations,
there'll be
yeah.
8 people per team on the relay race.
Oh, wow.
So if we
Yeah.
can sign up teams in advance, so if you're listening and you want to put your own
Right.
team together,
8 people.
span it out with key players. Small guy for the wheelbarrow race, but big guy to push him. Small guy to get on the tricycle to run through the obstacle course, but somebody good at cornhole, aka Gypsy.
The king.
Exactly. So,
Yeah. Well, Silver Lining just said she'd captain the team.
Awesome.
perfect.
Look at that. Go Silver Lining.
Yeah.
Good
job. Wink, wink.
Pick me. I want to be on your team.
Good job, Silver Lining.
You get to pick your team.
You gotta put your team together in advance. So you can either do it the day of when you get here, or you can do it.
And is this what the trophy's for?
Yes.
We haven't talked about the trophy yet.
Okay, well, here we go.
Uh-oh.
All right, so we thought this would be an annual event to do. We want to try and bring Killian up to be the next guy to put this together and let it be his event that he does for years to come.
Because thus far he's won like
All of
every
them.
event
Yeah.
that we've
Yeah.
had. We
Nope.
need to make this harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he'll make it too hard for us. So we'll be doing
We're
some
not setting
parkour
up
tricks.
a parkour course. Like, no.
Right.
But we thought that we would bring the community together for every portion of this thing. So not only just to like put the event on, but also to teach others to how to lead the next event and how to walk away with viable information that's going to help them in life, like planting seeds and growing.
Yeah, and teamwork. You
So
have to work in a team in order to accomplish this task.
we were going to do a trophy, and we were looking all over like, what should we do? What should we do? Had 101 ideas, and I thought, well, who could we pull from the community that knows how to do artwork like that? Squatchy. Squatchy is what came to my mind. Which, by the way, Squatchy, you're here in spirit with us. This is Bigfoot on a mountain bike right now. So we called Squatchy and said, hey, can you put together a trophy for us? We want it to be Squatchy-esque. So go ahead and insert yourself into it however you want. Squatchy is in California, so he's very far from being at our events, but he's so much part of the live and everything else that you guys have in contact with each other. So Squatchy has put together a masterpiece of a trophy, and we'll just leave it as a surprise for when it finally gets here. But let's just say it looks a lot like Squatchy. And Tag had the idea of making it like the Winston Cup, where it gets Stanley Cup. Sorry, where
Winston
it gets
Cup.
Yeah, sorry.
What the hell is the Winston
Tennis.
I thought that was like car racing or something.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I think maybe it's tennis and no, Wimbledon's tennis. That's what it is.
We are really good at organized sports.
Anyways, I scored a really good home run one of these days. I did. 3-pointer.
So we're going to build it like the Stanley Cup.
We're going to build like a standing up. So this year's
My
winner,
job
the
is to keep everybody
team
focused.
winner, the team that wins this year gets the very first spot on the trophy. Next year, somebody else will get another spot, and it'll just get a little bit taller. So every year you'll have that team on there for that year. They won it. They'll forever be infamous on the walls of the community building treehouse.
That's cool.
So, so it'll just get taller and taller. That's Tag's part. Tag's building the Stanley Cup,
The rings.
part of it, the ring.
And I thought we'd use like cutoffs of like walnut trees, like actually wood rounds.
Yeah.
And they just get a little bigger, a little bigger, a
Nice.
little bigger, a little bigger. So pretty soon it gets to be 5 feet tall and
I love it.
nobody can lift it.
I said, but
It's a
Tag,
real treat.
what are you going to do in 20 years when it's too big and it touches the ceiling? He
We'll
says,
start another one.
that's an excellent problem to have, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So,
Yeah, we'll just, Squatchy says the Squatchy Cup.
the
Squatchy
Squatchy
Cup.
Cup.
I like it. Yeah.
And I think it should be forever known as the Squatchy
That's
Cup.
wonderful.
We need to get Squatchy Cup on there.
It's not too late, Squatchy. Put it on
Yeah,
there.
Squatchy Cup's got to be on there somewhere because then we'll just, continue to grow it. So relay, Squatchy Cup, that's the Squatchy Cup. Like
Squatchy
Mario
Cup.
Kart, right?
Yeah.
The Squatchy Cup.
So every year it's got to be a relay race. Every
Okay.
year there's got to be a team building year, where you're like, maybe you plan out your team well in advance. The only difference is you don't know that the course is going to be the same next year. So it won't. So you might put together some muscle team and then you're going to have like a bunch of brainiac teases to get through. And the jocks are going to be over there going, duh, duh, duh. So you might have built the wrong team. So just saying.
I used to play pro paintball years and years ago. I still got some equipment up there. We could have some fun with the relay race. You just have to wear goggles.
Got to hit some targets.
Because I will hit them in the head.
How fast can you run?
Some incentive.
I don't want to get shot at.
Anything else on the relay? Anything else?
We've got a scavenger hunt planned to do
Okay.
kind of a scavenger hunt, kind of a puzzle solving game.
Okay.
So we'll probably divide up into 2 or 3 teams for that.
Okay.
And I tried to keep it homestead centered, so we'll
Okay.
be doing some homesteady type things like.
So for kids or
You know,
adults? Or
I
anybody?
think it would be good with mixed teams. So we're gonna try and sign up ahead and shuffle the teams so that everybody's got a good mix. So
Good idea.
we'll try and do some things like egg related because we're on a farm and
It's Easter.
yeah.
It's raining.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is the plan if it rains?
So we also have
Quarters. You ever played
two-
quarters
two
before?
we
Yeah.
also have two
would
sets
never.
of flag football, 8 per, so 16. So mud football in the front.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and thanks to the generosity of Mario, we have actually 2 working showers. So the mud is not.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
No. You shower in the ponds.
Yeah.
Yes. Polar bear days.
Polar bear plunge in the ponds.
We call that Yeti.
Let's see here. Mark says, replace the paintballs with pepper balls for incentive. No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And so you guys know, I've had a lot of reach out from the local community, Jackson County and some of them. And so there's a bunch of people coming. A bunch of new people that I don't even know, or that I've met
Wonderful.
at a solar thing or a town hall meeting or at a,
We got the butcher. He's gonna bring the processor.
okay,
He's like, I want to come. I want to bring my family. We're like, cool.
let's do it.
Like,
Oh,
come
that's
meet the
awesome.
people.
Yeah.
you
So
know?
what's the plan with the butcher?
So they're going
They're
to give
butchering?
us so they process. So like if you have whatever animal you have that you are not
I
wanting
love
to
this.
process yourself,
What's their names real quick?
Flint Creek,
Flint Creek Meat Processing.
correct.
Okay, got it.
Meat company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flint Creek Family Meat
Flint
Company?
Creek Meat
Okay.
Company.
Something
So
like
we were fortunate enough to use them on the cow that we bought from Luke and Camille. So they processed, and man, I was so stoked with how they cut, how they packaged. Like so far, we've had a home run on everything.
Yeah, no question that the meat that
Luke grew was
that
amazing.
he grew was what we got.
Yeah.
Just the flavor, the
Yeah.
taste was outstanding. It was, wow, like the best meat I've ever eaten in my life. And the way that it was all prepared was like, good job, everybody.
And Jen, you're meat finicky.
I'm exceptionally.
So-
I am. Yep.
Right, you are.
Sorry.
So
Well,
it was good?
yeah, it was amazing, and I have different health things,
Yeah.
so for me to not get sick when I ate it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, wait a half hour and see, are you going to get sick? It's
Yeah.
no, you're yay, and
Yeah.
you're not.
Cook another one!
I know,
That's
right?
life
Literally,
changing, really.
right? So they are going to give us a gift certificate, so a person could use it towards butchering a cow or buying meat from them or however they're going to use it. So, and then we get to meet their family
Okay.
too. So they're going to come and bring their
Nice.
children so
Excellent.
that they can,
Excellent.
be a part of this.
Yeah, you and I because you, if you're free, got some playground work probably to do.
Yes.
They can dry out just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give them a little bit more.
We brought 3 big wheels that we went on Facebook
Four
and
total.
then Amber got the 4th one.
Yeah,
So we could definitely.
so they can race down the hill into the pond.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Really?
Wait.
It's part of one of the activities, not into the pond.
Yeah, but the idea was that they stay here at your guys' house.
So that the kids,
have
whenever
something to
kids
play
are coming, then they can have them
Yeah,
here.
we need to
So-
get a shipping container out here somewhere to store all
the
that stuff
toys
in.
and stuff. Yeah, that's an excellent idea.
Yeah, so if you can say, what other sponsors, what other,
So I want to stop at the first one. So the Luke and Camille I think Luke is going to bring some meat and barbecue it up.
Oh, good.
And we
So
can all
people can
sample,
taste it.
sample what they got going on. And then the processors are throwing in a $250 gift certificate towards their stuff.
Amazing.
So
Right.
the sponsors that we have are all for the silent auction. So if you're hearing this and you're interested in like things that you normally would purchase, I would say plan on going shopping, hopefully at a discount. And if it's not, then you pay more because you really want it. You just want to support the community. We're raising funds for next
For the
next
4th of
festival,
July
the 4th of
festival.
July.
Because we're going to do
So-
the big
Yeah.
fireworks display, and
Yeah.
it's not free. Propane's not free. You know,
Right.
the stuff that
Right.
that makes this happen. a
Yeah.
lot of that burden falls on you guys, and we
Yeah.
didn't think that was, we are so thankful, but
I appreciate it.
Amber and
Yeah.
Caleb and I, we were like, what can we do to help?
Yeah.
Like not make the financial burden on you guys.
So some of the people you guys are already using are participating that we just haven't talked about yet. So
Yeah.
we've got
Herring
the
milling.
meat processing people. We've got Luke and Camille. We've got Mike the mechanic, who's wanting to donate gift certificates for oil changes and so forth. People that are the Perry Milling Company is donating. I don't know what all they're giving because we briefly talked, but they sound like they're hooking it up. So I don't know if it's feed or what.
On Monday, I have to call them back.
Baumgars is in Topeka is they're the ones that said, "Hey, can we give you a pallet?" And I'm like, I got a flatbed trailer and a truck.
Yeah.
Get all of it up.
So they're going to
And
donate
prizes.
a
Mhm.
pallet of potting mix
Love it.
and grass seed
Love
and
it.
garden seeds. And so just a pallet of potting mix, and then grass seed and some like field fertilizer. I can't remember which. So they're like, this is stuff that farmers,
Yeah.
homesteaders
Yeah.
farm. And we were like, okay, we'll be there Monday morning with our
Wow.
flatbed. So
That is awesome.
right? So that was super. And the gal there, Rose, that's at Beacon
Super
Longer,
shout out to
she's
Rose.
so
She's
amazing.
been wonderful.
She's
Yeah.
been just fantastic.
So support your Topeka Baumgars.
Yeah.
If you hear this, they're givers.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
want to give back. So so there's that. We still got a few more that we're hitting up. We've reached out to a lot of people. Menards was one of them. Theirs is a lengthy process to go through, so we started it, but I think we won't get any donations from them until 4th of July.
So we're
we'll
gonna,
just have it
we're
for
gonna
later.
kind of table that one so that when the 4th of July comes, if we decide to do something, whoever picks up the stick for next time,
We
or
got-
the rubber chicken.
Yeah, we got buddies that in California that sponsored and sent out some really nice high-end patio umbrellas. So if you're wanting that umbrella for your garden or your back porch or whatever, these are like $600 or $800 umbrellas that they.
No, we're not selling them for that. That's
No,
not the
no,
thing
no,
for the
that's not-
silent auction, but just
Yeah.
so you know that it's good
It's
quality
nice.
stuff.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. There's some nice things that are rolling through. We brought some stuff to put into the pile, and man, I don't know. There's just a bunch that I can't think of. I should have brought my list of everybody to say thank you to.
Raised beds.
Yeah, we got some of those galvanized raised beds for herbs or whatever, if you want to put those outside of your door or wherever. And then,
And anybody at Tar Waters, if you're listening, we would love to talk to you guys about what you might have in the back room that just needs to go away.
Get away.
That
Right.
might serve.
you've already written that off. It's a tax write-off for inventory.
Yeah, especially if it starts with pallets of 2x4s. Just saying.
Milwaukee tools and things like that.
Oh yeah, anything red's good.
Right, go Team Red.
So yeah, that's the gist of the fundraiser. We'll have that silent auction kind of going on throughout the day, and we'll have prizes for the different things that we're winning. You know, whether it's the scavenger hunt or the
There's a sprouting tray rack too. So
Oh,
it's
cool.
a 5-shelf rack with like, if you want to do like
that
alfalfa
was
sprouts
cool.
or barley sprouts or things
Yeah.
like that, that'll be another one. And then there's another set of sprouting trays and stuff for other things. But things like we have buckets, like 5-gallon buckets with some bootstrap farmer starter pots. And then some like garden sleeves. So like if you're in there in your squash or tomatoes, and you know what it's like, you get in there and it's like stickering up your hand or you irritate your arm. So just those kind of things, garden gloves.
When I seen some trees.
Yeah. So that
that kind of brings
can
it.
you hand me that, please? Yes, sir.
Are you cold?
Yeah.
She's chilly.
Yeah.
You know.
So that goes with this. So
Oh yeah, the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Thomas Jefferson, dedicated on this day, April 11th, in the year of our Lord 2026, to the enduring spirit of the American Revolution and the promise of freedom for generations yet unborn. How cool is
So
that?
we This is a plaque. This is one of the things we were working on when we were in California.
Wow, really
So
cool.
We brought two tulip poplars,
Oh,
which
cool.
are the last part of the original tree of liberty that got blown down in Annapolis, Maryland.
Oh, you gotta tell that story.
1999. So
Because that's a big deal right there.
we wanted to carry on that tradition to meet
Mhm.
people who are fighting for their freedom, for their food sovereignty, for
Mhm.
their way of life, for all the things that make us Americans and our country, so that here on the property, when you guys look out or anybody visits, they can see this.
And those poplars then will grow, and it's originally from that original tree.
And
right?
these ones are not from that
Okay.
original tree. We were unable to. I didn't really want to go to prison. By
Oh, no,
making
no,
it-
please don't. Although the visits would be
That
fun.
land.
We
there was
did,
just-
yeah.
Right.
Right.
So-
So-
You got to back that up because in Silver Dollar City, about an hour from us, there are a few of these one tree
Yeah,
of the
so,
originals there.
so in her
Tag wanted Jen to go in there
to
and
get a cutting.
cut some
So
off.
I've been kind of scheming on this project, so that's weatherproof. It's got
Yeah, this is
metal.
awesome,
So yeah,
man.
so we had a professional sign maker make it.
You
We
put
can
this
put it on a plaque. A
At the
post.
tree.
We want to put it at the tree.
Oh,
And
yeah.
there's
So-
there's
and
more
there-
than one
there are a
of
couple
those.
of extra ones. So it.
Oh, yes.
So
Let me see here.
we couldn't get the original, obviously, and the last
Ooh, that's right.
of the Tree of Liberty that our founding fathers met under blew down during Hurricane Harvey in Annapolis, Maryland in 1999. So they took cuttings from that original tree, the last one, and sent it to the original 13 colonies and a couple of select places in the United States. And so that's how when we were at Silver Dollar City, we saw that, and I just thought, that's that enduring spirit of America and
Yeah.
what we are wanting to keep alive for our children and our grandchildren.
That is amazing.
So
So-
we could plant it then on April 11th
Yes.
of
We should.
2026.
That's
the idea.
that was the idea.
We wanted to just do it as a surprise on that day, but we didn't know how the weather was going to go. And then we said, oh, well, Tag's got to pick out where those
Right.
go. B's like, well, if he sees holes in the ground, he's going to know we're planting this.
So your
There will
wife
be
is
questions.
your wife is working with us. Surprise!
So we gotta get a pole in the ground. I got a metal pole, put a steel pole in the ground,
And then put this
and
on
then
it.
put that on it, and then put the trees.
So
I was thinking more of a
there's-
wood
yeah,
perch
kind of
with a 45 on
okay,
it.
you
so that
guys
you
can
like land
discuss
in an angle.
discuss the.
I've got a bunch of hedge posts.
Mm.
They're all kinds of crooked and different, and we'll just pick one out.
So
Yeah,
that when you told Mike when you saw him sitting down in front of that trailer, he was working on that generator, and you said he'd get up and do whatever.
Yeah.
I was doing that while he
Okay,
was
cool.
doing that for the guy. So we were doing a little trade
That-
work
that is really
and
cool.
bartering. So
That is
he
really
fixed
cool.
the generator while we made those.
Yeah, we're gonna put some thought into where that goes.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause we could build a little park right there, you know, which would be really, really cool.
So that,
Yeah, way cool.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, I love it.
happy freedom.
Happy freedom.
I said,
Well,
too bad we can't plant it on the island.
mhm.
'Cause-
And getting out there.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody would
Swim
see it.
out there.
Right?
Swim over there.
It's starting to get nice.
Yeah.
It would get big, wouldn't it? On the
I know what we
island?
can do. That little section up there that's on the other side of where the Wallapini is. You know that section that's right there? Put the trees there, put that there, let me have a bulldozer and we'll weld it like Killdozer. We'll make a park.
Oh, shoot.
Fantastic idea.
I love how it all goes back to let me get a bulldozer.
Yeah.
Buried in this plan, there's a bulldozer.
You're a smart.
I think it's a sound plan.
You didn't foil her.
No. I know where there's a D4 that doesn't run that I can have super cheap.
Oh.
We just have to
He hasn't got his eye on it or anything.
We
There's
should
no
put-
planning.
Sit next to it.
Right?
Hasn't been premeditated
It
at all.
doesn't run.
No
I actually
premeditation.
have a dozer
Flowers.
for you that does run if you want it. Seriously.
Yeah, I'd love to have a dozer, but for the park, I'd like to have one that doesn't run. We just weld plates on like Killdozer.
You can just not turn the key on.
That's
It won't run.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what else? Anything else to talk about the food? What are we eating?
So we're going to do beef and chicken sliders,
Mhm.
and then we asked everybody to bring a side
Okay.
to share with their list of ingredients in the event that some people have food allergies or
Mhm.
what have you. So we're doing
Yeah.
those kind of things.
Yeah, what have you?
Yeah.
Will you
Did you
bring?
say something about dessert?
Yeah, I think we're gonna do some peach dump cake.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
You gonna cook it on a fire or are you gonna cook it at home?
I'm not sure yet. Plans in the works.
Yes.
So do we need more people to bring dessert?
I was gonna say, if anyone wants to bring dessert, you can't have
There's no such
and
thing.
desserts.
There's
So
going to be a bunch
we
of people.
encourage desserts, and then we will also provide some desserts.
And side dishes.
Yeah, and side dishes.
Mhm.
Yeah, what do you bring?
Dessert and side dishes.
So you're saying you've given it no thought to this point?
No.
She got 5
Sandwiches.
days. We're good. We're good.
Side
Five
dishes.
days.
That's dessert.
Yeah.
She only said that because you guys gave her the answer to the question.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. All right, cool. What else? Anything else going on? Oh, talk about the table.
Oh,
You don't need table, because I think that is such a beautiful thing.
Oh, yeah.
started that over there.
This is just a standard feature now, I think.
Yeah.
We have a table of just things to bless other people with. So if something's not blessing you anymore and you need to share the wealth, bring it. And we're going to put it on the free table. And then you can just go through it and find some cool stuff. I know my daughter has gone through there and found a whole new wardrobe. So
Yes, clothes that don't fit you anymore, clothes you don't want.
And what's the rule? The
They
one
just
rule.
left it.
If it doesn't go, you have to take it with you.
That's a great rule.
Yeah.
Don't leave it here.
Yeah,
It
so
takes-
we don't really want your
Yeah.
broken lawn chairs or something.
Yeah, I'll be building another building.
Gently used items
Yeah.
that other people will be blessed by.
Yeah, I need to call the shipping container guy and see if he wants to donate a shipping container.
That would be lovely.
Oh, that'd be
Get rid of
awesome.
it, but let's plan for storage.
Dude, a 20-footer would go a long way.
Yes, it
Like the
would.
tables and all the stuff that we do. And
Yeah.
To be able to get them out of here and then.
Well, and
Does
as
your shipping container guy watch?
Sometimes,
I think as this
I don't know if he's out
progresses-
there.
Please
we,
help.
we just planted the seed,
Right,
the shipping container seed.
right.
Don't be stingy.
We're hoping these kids continue growing. So we're kind of collecting for you
Yeah.
future years. So yeah.
So we'll have the spring box and the 4th of July box and
Yep.
the fall box and the, so there's different things.
And I
that
think
we
there's
can
already a 4th of
use.
July box, right? And there's
Yeah,
already
and
a
there's
fall
a
box.
fall box already,
And
yeah.
spring box from last
Is there already a spring box from last year too? So we'll just keep growing on it. We
Yeah.
need more space. Like,
Yeah.
We got to keep building.
We also brought our flatbed trailer with a whole bunch of
Oh, yeah.
reefer panels.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
because Tag's always saying, it's easy, just build it.
All you gotta do.
Mm.
Super
It's really not
Super
complicated.
It's not that hard.
We're gonna build a cooler.
And he loves to build stuff.
Oh, wait, what's this? Sorry. American Root says I got a garden shirt.
Garden shirt?
Oh, that's funny. Mark Baldwin says make a killdozer rental for any disputes with so-called authorities. Yeah, gift. Yeah, I'm super excited. That's really amazing. We're gonna make a park out of that. We'll build a park around that. We'll find a place. We'll build a park.
Awesome. With for our bulldozer and our tree.
Yeah, we're gonna build a little park. We'll take some nook and we'll build a little park. I think that's cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna put a park?
I got this.
He's got 40 acres.
You,
Give me 40.
yeah, you've got to worry about food and the community building. By the way, what else has to be done this week? I got dirt to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cattails to cut down if we can get to them.
We have like a beach down there. There's so the water has receded so much you could actually walk out there right now.
I know I came over the other day to like plan out the scavenger hunt. I was walking around and I was like, this is not the border of the pond that I was planning for. I have to rethink this whole thing now.
Did you
The
walk all
pond
the way
was
down?
here and now it's over
Yeah.
there. And it doesn't even go where I thought it used to go. So yeah, there was a rewrite involved.
Oh, American Root says from the free pile. Got it. She got a garden shirt from the free pile.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cool. And B&P Oil is also one of your sponsors.
Okay, cool.
Is donating a gift card or something
Oh nice.
for
I know.
Free
there was
Yeah.
stuff.
Did you guys know? I know you guys know this one. I bartered with them for a brand new 1,000-gallon propane tank filled with propane for this building. We bartered it.
That's
Oh, wow.
awesome.
Awesome.
I love
No
it.
cash was involved.
You know, I got to tell you, you're great with names because when I called down there and called the lady the name that you asked me to call her, she said, "There's nobody here by that name." So I was like,
Which made that
Harley,
way
"Well,
easier.
what is your
right?
name?" Yeah, so it
Do
totally
you
made
know who I'm talking about?
It is Carly, but you gave me like something else. It was sounded like Carly, but it wasn't Carly. It was close to Carly.
Well, clearly I know it. They just said Carly. So maybe someone had heard it wrong.
I could be right.
You know, I got it right.
I'm a little late.
I read your writing or attempted
He
to.
didn't spell it out for me. So. Anyways.
Yeah.
But yes,
What I heard and what I wrote might be a little different.
I was told that I was planning a relay race because it was my idea. No,
Yeah.
no, that was not my idea.
She sent me the text.
I agree with Amber are just not two things that ever.
That was that one.
No.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's right. Mike and I talked about that. Oh, okay.
So I got a question for all four of you. Why would you spend all your time and energy and resources on something like this? What's in it for you?
I was drunk when you asked me.
He's a
Lesson
planner.
learned.
Just a planner.
I think that it needs to happen. I think that, for one, part of one of my love languages is quality time, and I feel like that's a quality time, getting to spend our time. We live over 5 hours away, and we drive up here at least 4 times a year.
Yeah.
To come and spend time
Yeah.
and enjoy and work and laugh and go home with beautiful jars of salsa and, and my heart filled. Like,
Yeah.
for me, I love that.
Yeah.
And to see more people making new friends and connecting that way is awesome.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Mike, what about you?
It's there's a lot of answers to it. One of them though is just to see like a gap that needs to be filled in certain ways. And I think that it brings purpose too, though, when everybody comes together as a community, we're all part of something.
Yeah.
And that makes life feel a little more fulfilling. Like you've got purpose, or like you matter, you're making a difference. So to be able to like say, okay, we're going to teach kids how to plant seeds is super cool. In fact, what you can't see is there's a whole bunch of starts over here. And I watch my wife take bubble wrap and cut it and then lay it out. I'm like, what is she doing? And then like all the
She does lots
okay, why didn't you know that? Looks like plumbing to me, right? So she's laying out bubble wrap, and then goes to the soil and all the amendments to it, and then goes the seeds, I guess. We do the seeds later, and then you roll them up into a thing because you were doing a
Then put the
video.
seeds in.
You guys talked about it last week. The seed rolls, right?
Yeah.
But then like the front bedroom became the grow house because we didn't have a grow house outside. So out come the tables and all this like space wrap, like something, a space blanket or whatever you'd have if you're on the moon, and then grow lights and yada yada. And then every time you walk by that room, you kind of smell wet earth like coming up at you.
I don't have a greenhouse.
I'm like, okay. But we did this kind of thing when we were in a fifth wheel trailer, and she took a clear plastic tent outside in the middle dead of winter and stuck a little space heater in there and still grew things. So she's got a will to grow. And
it was a lovely garden.
but this stuff all came to life.
No, that was
And
in
I-
Arkansas.
Yeah. All this came to life like that. And I started seeing these things sprout up, and I'm like, how cool is that? Like that you can, I don't know, it just fascinates me. The whole growing thing fascinates me. So I get it why you get into it, because you start something from this almost like a baby, and you watch it grow into food that feeds you. So what a great way to like be a part of the process of growing your food, knowing what's into it, but then to be able to share that to other people, that they can do that themselves, ties the whole thing together, where you're like, okay, now there's a greater purpose beyond me just having fun. There's something that we're actually after here. So I think that the opportunity to be able to have fun with everybody for me was a good one, of like, all right, cool, I'll do the relay race. That sounds like something I could do. We did one for my son for his 18th birthday and my buddy for his 50th. And it was the best mud bath everybody ever had. The baton was a roll of toilet paper, and it had to make it across the finish line and through the gauntlet to be able to get that roll of toilet paper past the other side. We had a
We
blast.
made this one not as dirty or hard.
Yeah, we did.
There's not a mud pit that you have to ride a quad through on this one.
This is true. There's no motorcycle races on this, and there's no slide to go down into the
Yeah.
mud pit.
Yeah, to climb through to find fine with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
fine with that.
But,
Unless
any-
it's muddy out.
exactly, and it
But never mind.
could rain, and that could change everything up.
But the good news is we got a lot of clothes over here, so people
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
have another
extra
outfit.
sweater.
Yeah.
Free clothes to change into.
Yep.
So, anyways, that's what it's about for me: having fun and bringing everybody together to have a good time and have a purpose in it, and just putting smiles on faces and some morale for the
Get 'em
community.
going.
Yeah. Amber, what about you?
Community, because we've been trying with our kids to undo some of the world's undoing. Like the world has been undoing family and undoing
Yeah.
community, and we're trying to reverse that. So you have to have family and you have to have community, and you can't do a whole lot on your own without it. It's really easy to be a prepper and like plan for all the things you're going to do on your own, and really quick you run into I need some help with this. Like I need some help with this, and there's only so much family around because all of our families have shrunk and everybody's moved, and so community becomes even more important. So it's your like family outside of family, and so
That's beautiful.
it's really important to grow.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, what they said. No, but I mean, it is. It's what she said. Family's the most important community, and they're the next generation. And to have days like this where it's encouraging kids to get together and different families that wouldn't normally maybe meet together to experience that memory, and take away a good time from that, and to learn something and introduce yourself to new people and reconnect with people you haven't had a chance to. Everybody gets busy. Everybody gets, well, I gotta get this done. I gotta get that done. I still have to work. We have busy lives that gotta plant. Well, this is one day you get set aside and then get a lot of socialization and just have that with people that that you can see that you're not really in it by yourself, that there are other people out there that know that want the same thing out of life. It's not what you just see on TV all the time, and there are other people out there that isn't necessarily on the rat race. So it gives you that setback so you can actually breathe and enjoy life a little bit more.
Yeah. B, why do you put up with all this? What's in it for you?
I think that the plumbing.
So I was going to give you a clue. You were still like you're frozen there for a second.
The plumbing.
After.
No, I think
That was the suckiest answer.
The ball on that
I kind of feel like
She's sleeping.
I kind of feel like we're called to do what we're doing. I feel like the path has been easy in ways that we need to be, and I continue to pray that those doors open where we're supposed to be, and that it's easy for us to be there. It's obvious for us to be there. Like it's like, oh, hey, that's a no-brainer. We're through that. And that how can if I feel that that is what I'm here to do, if I feel that that is my calling, how can I deny that? How can I not follow through with that if that is truly what I feel like I'm here to do? So yes, it's hard. Yes, it's we're not always friends. We're not always polite to each other. We're not always in the best of moods. We don't always eat good. I know there's times in our life where you're like, we were supposed to be eating good. We've been eating pretty shitty.
Or spaghetti squash.
We had some, yeah. Well, you won't eat your spaghetti squash, buddy. If you're not going to eat your spaghetti squash, then you're getting Casey's pizza. No, but
For you.
I spend 9 hours in the garden and then get done, and I'm like, I don't want to cook anything. So, and then you're like, well, then what are we here for? If we're not going to eat the food that you're growing. I think that Mia, there's a baby.
Hi.
Hi, baby. She's looking at us like we're crazy.
Good night, everybody. There's a baby here.
I think that we just, I'm here because I need to be here. I'm here because I'm called to be here. So I'm gonna keep fighting it. I'm gonna keep at it.
Yeah, for me, it's I've been at this a long, long time, right? I've seen every side of it, every side, and it's interesting because, particularly in the type of people that want this life, the prepper, the homesteader, that they don't trust easy, and typically they're damaged. Typically there's some demon in the background somewhere. There's some
trust issue,
some tribulation, something that happened along the way, and so because I think our instincts are to look internal. We're going to do it ourselves. We're going to take care of ourselves. I think just naturally that comes that these kind of events allow us to build trust and to build camaraderie. And it's so important because, as B said, we're not always best friends. And there's every single person probably in the communities annoyed me at one point in time or another. Right. And I think it's just part of that natural process. But I think getting together.
Try harder.
Yeah. I think it's just part of the process of building trust. And I think that plays a critical role because we all do this for a particular reason.
Yeah.
And there's going to come a day where community is all we have. And I believe this. And so the more we get that out now and the more we learn conflict resolution and the more we figure out how to love each other. And B says this all the time, I'm going to love them through it. That's, one of B's favorite sayings, and it's so true because, if we can figure out how to love people through
the worst part of themselves, their worst demon.
Yeah, they're just them dealing with those demons,
right?
And them dealing with coming from, I don't even know my neighbor, to all of a sudden here's a friend community. As they're trying to bridge that gap. I think that it gives us a chance to love them through it. And I think that's just big, which is why I continue to encourage to do it. And I'm just so thankful of you guys because carrying the whole load's a lot.
I think kind of selfishly, I had a lot of fun doing some of this stuff. Like that, it lit me up. It was difficult some days. We were like, okay, I did 46 pounds of roast beef today. I don't want to see any more cow. And then your food savoring it and putting it into the freezer.
Says, what's for dinner?
I'm not even hungry.
He literally, that literally happened. And he's like, didn't you just cook all that beef? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, American roots. And I think this is said well, says history tends to repeat itself. Community is what it's going to take. Yep. And I think in the goal of having this, fully functioning high-speed community, it takes time and pressure and lots of both.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, lots and lots of both. So anything else about the festival that you guys want to talk about?
It's going to be a good time. Come hungry.
DJ Mike and Mike.
Come adventurous. Yeah. If you want to karaoke, think about what song you want to do ahead of time and put it on the list and wear your outfit if you want.
If you have a wig or a fun thing, I encourage
come in
you
character,
to
dress up as Elvis or
I have a George Washington rig. I have a George
yeah, the
Washington.
Parliament wigs.
I have a Parliament wig.
Yeah.
What song would you sing with the Parliament wig?
I would reside over the singing.
Spandex
I
and
singing.
How about what you eat?
Oh,
Look at your dress.
Phineas has been preparing for weeks.
Phineas is going to sing what song?
It's called World Change Me, Tyler McNown, something like that.
All right, new one.
It's a good song. We made a good choice.
So he's not going to do House of the Rising Sun again?
I can't promise that.
And how old is he?
Said it.
7. The 7-year-old smoked everybody at karaoke. He had all the heart that it took. But so karaoke will be at the end of the evening, and then everything else throughout the day is gonna. We'll do the relay race before we eat, so that way we can be good and hungry.
Yeah.
By the time we eat,
We have some
from all the
random giveaways and stuff, so there's just like
So all through the whole time, there's
just
something.
random little things. So
Well, again, I can't tell you guys how thankful I am that you were willing to do it because I'm, again, doing it all is just a lot, you know,
Yeah.
it's just a lot to always do.
We're retired.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You know,
we don't
I
have a job and a farm and all the stuff that you guys have. So we're thinking, you know, I'm super thankful that you guys trusted us enough, especially knowing how weird we are, that like you let us be in charge.
weird's
of
good.
The fun part of it is though, is that we live in Arkansas. We don't know the people at Tarwater and at Palm Gardens and all this, but just to be able to like say, okay, well, if there's a will, there's a way. So all I have to do is just open and ask, and you know, what do they say? You miss 100% of the shots you never take.
Yeah.
So
All they can do is say no.
We called
Move on.
everybody and let them know. I'm Rowdy Meyer, and I.
That will either work really well for you or really not well for you.
It went really well. I didn't tell them I was Rowdy Meyer.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was good. It was a good way to meet people that you didn't know anything about, to get a feel for what the community is about, because that's even huge outside of like your core community. You've got people you're shopping with that are givers, that are good to want to give back and support. So, and all it took was just a simple ask, and an honest ask, and to be transparent about what we were doing. And some of them asked for a flyer, you know, see email, and you got to kind of go back and forth. All of it takes time, right? But I mean, what else takes time? Planting food and
sit on
everything else you do. So
on your butt and watch TV.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this one turns out, because this one will be the biggest attended from a local geographical community perspective.
Because you haven't opened it up.
I
like
never
that
have before. This is the first one I've ever opened it up, and I just felt coming out of the heels of the town hall meetings and that it would be a good opportunity to, you know, bring local like-minded people in, you know, who aren't really aware of us or what we do or any of those things. So,
Well, when we were calling and talking to people, we invited them. So it's like, you want to see where your stuff is going? Come.
yeah. Well, I know there's people from the internet. I mean, I know a guy from New York that's coming.
No kidding.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah, that'll be interesting. That's a long haul.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Is
that's
he like
right.
upstate? Like
I
he
don't
has a
know.
farm in
I
New
just
York?
know New York.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know any of the details, but you know, so that'll be pretty cool. There's a young couple we met recently from down south, the Baldwin area, south of Topeka, that'll be coming up. So yeah, there's a bunch of new people. Some people reached out to me from the internet, from the town hall meetings and all that, and said, we love what you guys are doing.
Oh, that's
You know, can we come? What can we bring? And I just sent them the flyer.
Yeah.
You know, if they have any
That's
questions, you know, kind of let me know. I've got a couple people coming to learn about off-grid living, interested in solar and interested in those things. So I think will be pretty exciting. Hi, honey. Yeah.
She says that there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anything else on the festival? We got lots of stuff to do. Dirt work.
we
What
got
else?
dirt
Clean
work.
up,
We got
clean up.
axe throwing. We got marshmallow
prep work.
sucking, I guess, for lack of better words.
We need to hang 2 of the axe targets are down.
What's that?
Yeah.
2 of the axe targets are down. We got to get them back up.
Yeah. So we need to kind of go to work and
Yeah.
be playful and creative.
Yeah.
But hopefully, weather allowing, we don't have mud.
Yeah.
And for those of you out there who have not been to this place before, you're gonna love it. But picture it in a year from now when the grass is all green and the trees are growing out.
Yep.
And this has been a fun process to see this go from bare dirt. Nobody had vision but you for it, to what it's turned into now, and a place for us to gather. And I think the tulip poplars and the significance of them for the purpose of gathering are just so appropriate. So I'm really looking forward to what that brings in another 10, 20, 30 years from now to say, man, remember back when we started and we were doing these live streams and, you know, building and da-da-da-da. And we didn't know
Your
anybody.
grandkids are now picking up that torch.
Yeah. I hope so.
Like running with it, you know?
Yeah.
I think they will. And I think that if we hand things down to guys like Killian and Fiona and whoever else wants to get involved to carry that torch.
Could you imagine Phineas running all of this?
Oh man, that'd be a good time.
Dude.
Now he'd be asleep over there, propped up. And
By 10 o'clock, he's out. But up until
how he fell asleep
Well, it's
leaning,
over
up,
at 8.
leaning up against the wall.
Skane's girl says she's going to bring some wigs and hats for karaoke.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, and gratitude to Grace says karaoke contest tag can reside over it and judge in his wig. See, I'm in with this. I'll do this. Skates girl says I've got 2 tubs of costumes. What did we ask for?
Yes, bring them.
That's excellent.
And Moo Moo Buckaroo, if you're listening, we need your cornhole game. Just one, unless you want to bring a bunch. Lots of cornhole, bring them all.
Yeah, I haven't seen him pop in yet, but he may have been. I haven't really been paying attention to the comments. But did you text him?
No.
Okay. We need to make sure we get that on the list. So.
Anyways, so yeah, that's I think that's it. Food, laughter, games, singing.
We've got a playground to enhance. We've got a dirt to move. We got cattails to cut down. We got
a room to build for B and a whole barn to build
Yeah.
out on the inside of it. So it'll be a big plumbing project wrapped around
Yeah.
a bunch of walls and sinks.
Yeah.
And
So she can get the
holding
milking.
water, rainwater catchment, tying it into a live system.
Yeah, we're so B's barn that we built this last year. I know a lot of you guys watched the build process, but we put a well spigot inside the barn so she had constant water, but we want to add rainwater to it. So we're going to put a gutter up, drain it into the tank, put a pressure tank and a pump and, and all of that stuff on it. One of the big reasons for doing this for me is so that B can pull the bee machine up and fill it with rainwater to water the gardens
Instead of
well water to water the gardens. But it also does another really big thing for us. Just this last week, I was out working on my truck and I'm coming over the hill and I see all this smoke, and I pull in and it looks like it's my house. And so I come racing down the driveway and my neighbor had lit the field on fire behind us and it got out of control. And then next thing I know, his wife is running over and saying, "Can we help? Can you get some water? It's getting close to your house." And so we run to get B's machine, and of course it needed water, so we had to stop, fill it up with water,
Which
Right.
takes 9 minutes.
which takes 9 minutes to fill a tank, and then to run over there and we eventually put the fire out. And this is the second time my neighbors caught my place on fire. But that's a whole other story. But anyway, having that extra source of firefighting ability, because it's hit us twice. It did nothing that we did,
Right.
and it's hit us twice.
It's the same guy. So there's that.
It's not dumb luck.
You'd think that he'd learn.
Oh, and there's some real big lessons in it. When I was watching him, by the time I went over and was helping him put out the fire, he's got his UTV and he's got a tank in the back of it and a wand, just like Bees does, but it's putting out a stream like he's peeing. I'm like, what the hell are you going to put out with that? And I pull B's machine up, roll down my window, and 30 feet away, I'm putting out, I'm like, dude, you were ungunned.
That's not
That's
a
what a healthy
life.
prostate looks
That's right. I mean, he literally had a 30-gallon tank, and it had such weak stream, he had to drive into the fire. So, he's got fire coming up around his UTV, trying to put this fire out. And it really just made me thankful that we have good equipment, but people should be prepared to fight fire. That's the number one thing we'll deal with.
I don't think it's very good that you have to deal with somebody else's Darwin Award.
True, but
But being
but at least
prepared
yeah.
is the important part.
yeah,
Being able to do it.
yeah. And for you guys listening who burn out there, listen, call your neighbors and let them know you're going to burn.
Right.
Because here's the thing, is that if they would have just called and said, hey, we're going to burn today,
I could have had that.
we would have
ready.
taken the Kubota, we would have filled up the water, we would have had the little spray bottles in the back, we would have had a rake and a shovel. Everything we needed had just been parked.
Right.
Something happened. I'm there in 12 seconds.
Instead of waiting until just before dark.
And then it gets away. Then I got to fill the tank up.
Don't burn on burn ban days.
So that's also a good one.
Don't burn when it's windy.
That's also a good one.
Yeah.
But had they let me know ahead of time, that fire wouldn't even got close to my property. Because I'd have been able to respond quick enough that it was stopped it long before it got there. But because I had to go fill up with water, it had crossed my property line by the time I got there.
And the wind was blowing like 23 miles an hour. So
Yeah.
it was like, you guys
Moves
And then
fire
he-
quick.
Yeah.
lights the fire with
Yeah.
400 feet from the house.
Yeah, so you guys out there with homesteads, you have to have the ability to fight fire. And I'm going to tell you, a shovel ain't enough and a garden hose ain't enough. Hi. Hey,
I don't know if
Who
she
do
wants
you
to be on there.
Who do you think? You want to be famous?
She says, not with you,
I
buddy.
gotta eat this cracker.
Yeah. Let's see here. Mark says, my crappy neighbors set the damn place on fire last week. I had to go save the day in a windstorm. Yeah. Yeah.
Do we have the same neighbor?
Where do you
No.
live, Mark?
Apparently that goes around in the neighborhood. Anyway, what else? The county commissioners invited me over to go over the new proposed budget,
Oh,
Nice.
which was interesting. So I went to town. I had lunch with one of the commissioners, and then we sat down in the commissioner's room and went over the budget line by line by line by line and what he was wanting. And I asked him at the beginning of the meeting, I said, what do you want to get out of this meeting? That's how I begin every meeting that I don't call. If someone wants a meeting with me, that's my first thing. What are your expectations? And he said, I just want to know, I've looked over this thing. I can't find a lot of places to cut. I want to know your opinion. What can we cut? And so we went over it line by line. And where it basically came down to is I told them they need to stop doing things that they're not statutorily required to do. That will fix the problem. Rock is going to be what rock costs. These things are going to be what they cost. But we give away in our county through subsidization and other things. I mean, it's over $1 million a year that they are spending that they're not required to spend by law. Like subsidizing the ambulance service is a good example, or paying for the ribbons and the trophies for the fair building. Just stuff like that's not in there. And I'm not, guys, before anybody gets mad at me, I'm not anti-ribbons and trophies for the fair. It's not the county commissioner's job, nor is it the taxpayer's responsibility.
Right.
They have to get it from somewhere else.
it's just like a household budget. You buy food first because you have to eat. You pay for the house because you have to.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, if there's a little bit of money left, then you can bring a treat home for the kids when you go grocery shopping. But you don't do that because you have to.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
the have tos first.
Yeah. It's crazy to me. And, he had said to me, this would be very unpopular. I'm like, well, okay, so let's just keep doing what we're doing, playing a popularity contest. It's completely unsustainable.
Was your mom very popular when she kept telling you to clean your room or put your dirty clothes in the little hamper?
No, my mom did it. My mom just said, I'm going to tell your dad.
You just have to do it, though.
Yeah. My mom threatened dad it was over. I did whatever she asked.
Okay.
That was the end of that. But
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. So, but I mean, when incomes, if you guys look since 2001, we talked about this at the town hall meeting, incomes are up 3.97% since 2001. Here in Jackson County, where I live,
Income.
income is up
How
3
much
point.
how much are taxes up?
Well, if you look at the budget, so the budget authority in that same period is up 30%, 35 to be exact. Okay, but the actual expenses are up like 19.6%. So let's even use the smaller number. Let's call it 20%. Okay, if incomes are growing up at 3.97%, but the expenses are up 20%, and then you calculate inflation over that exact same time is 19.7%. So between the increase in expenditures at a county level and inflation, that's 40%. At the same time, our incomes have gone up 3.97%, which means that the Jackson County residents are 35% poorer today than they were in 2001. It's not sustainable. At the end of the day, it will not work. We're going to have to do something that gets that back to some kind of sustainable level. So yes, it's going to be unpopular.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
everybody
it's
wants-
necessary.
Well, everybody wants you to cut everything except what affects them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the fair board will be super happy that you cut everything except the fair board.
Yes.
The ambulance service will be super happy you cut everything except the ambulance service, right?
Sometimes it's not there to be popular. It's there to do what's necessary.
And what's crazy is that the schools, 2 of our 3 schools are up 30+%. One of them is flat. The other 2 are up dramatic. I mean, you look at 2001, Holton School had about an $18 million budget. Today it's 30. So put that into context. Holton School District spends more money than the entire county. Their budget is greater than the entire county, which has police, right? The sheriff's department, the road and bridge.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right?
I
The
would
school has a
definitely
bigger
like
budget.
to know.
And then how is our performance? How are our
Oh,
students
yeah.
performing?
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause it's going up with that.
Yeah, no, there's
The
actually,
more we spend on them,
Yeah.
the smarter they are, right?
they're losing more and more kids, and they test below the 50th percentile for the state of Kansas.
Wow.
So tell the people your wonderful solution, what you think should happen.
Oh, it's easy. I could fix the schooling problem with one thing, and that is make the money follow the student. That's all you have to do. If someone wants to homeschool, that tax dollar should go to that family.
Well,
to
because
homeschool.
right now, the students at Royal Valley are getting X amount of dollars per student, while the students at Holton are getting a different
That's
number,
correct.
and it's not proportionate. And there's no reason that it costs more money to educate a student in Holton than it does in Royal
On
Valley,
average, Kansas is spending about $20,000 per student
which is also
for education.
insane.
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 But if those federal dollars if they followed the student and you wanted to homeschool, it would go to homeschooling. If you wanted to build a co-op, because if they did that, we'd build a school co-op.
Oh yeah,
Our community would build
Mhm.
one. Or even better yet, what happens is if you make the 3 school districts compete, if they know that those tax dollars are following the student, right? Now there's measurement, which then I can walk in and I can say, why should my student go here? What are you serving for school lunches?
Yeah.
What's your curriculum? What are you teaching? And if what I want my kids to learn is wokeism, then I should send them to a school that promotes wokeism. If what I want them to learn is the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, how to balance a checkbook, and how to change a flat tire, right? Then my money is voting to that, and you put the schools in a position where they compete.
So you said that Florida's already doing something.
Florida's
like
already
this?
doing this. Yeah.
And what does that look like for them?
Yeah, they use a voucher system. So basically, the voucher travels with the kid. And so that's why Florida's had this huge explosion of little schools and co-ops and stuff popping up. It's for this exact reason. But it follows them, and we should be doing this nationwide. Because I'm going to tell you guys something. I've been in business a long, long time. Competition fixes a lot of things.
It does. Especially a healthy competition.
It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Teachers. Let's talk about that. So, as part of that $20,000, what I would do is I'd say, here, teacher, here's your normal $50,000 or $60,000 you get paid, whatever it is, and every student that you get above the 80th percentile, as far as your testing, I'm going to give you $1,000 bonus at the end of the year. Every one that doesn't, I'm going to take $5,000 away. Go. Then what this is going to do, it's going to bring the best of teachers, because now they're going to be making $130,000, $140,000 a year if they just teach.
Mhm.
I can fix it.
And then cut the fat on other expenditures that are not necessary.
Okay.
And that's the curious part, because all of us have probably, I don't know, we sent our kids to public school for the most part, but it was through all 4 of them through their career, we would get at the beginning of the school year, we need crayons, we need spiral notebooks, we need rulers, we need
Kleenex.
4 times 4 children. And so there was always that request for additional supplies. So if the schools have this much stuff, what are they wasting that money on?
Yeah.
Or
if I was getting half of $20,000, if I was getting $10,000 a year for my kids, I would be saving for college.
Yeah.
Because currently we've been homeschooling for 16 years, and I've never spent more than $2,000 a student on my kids.
Yeah.
It's a little more expensive every year, every grade we go up, but we're in high school now, and $10,000 is just a crazy number to
What
me.
an amazing thing. So at $20,000 times 4 students, that's $80,000 a year. You spend 20 or 30 or whatever it is on the schooling. Now their education is paid for, and they don't go into the system with $100,000 in student loan debt.
Yes,
You're
which is
investing.
my whole goal.
And
from
now you're
no
not only
student
investing
loan
in
debt.
the student, you're investing in America,
Yeah.
in the prosperity of America.
Yeah.
Not just
100%.
administration.
Yeah.
Well, I think some of the spending needs to stop in a lot of ways. And when we give them budgets, then they have to meet their budgets. And if they don't need to meet their budget, then they find a way to meet their budget so they have the budget next year. We saw it in the plumbing world where they would come in and tell us, bid the job, and we bid the job. And then they tell us, bid it for more, because if we don't spend this money, then we don't next year. And it just felt
So
completely
wrong.
wrong. And no matter how many times you try to talk to them about, why don't you just save the money? And they would say, well, then if you won't bump the bid, then go find other things to do. it isn't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
So
We ended up
anyways.
pulling out of school contracts because it was to us not ethical.
Yeah,
Like we're not, it was dirty. Yeah. So
I think part of the problem in Kansas is you talk about budget, and all they say they have a budget, but the truth is, all they have to do is say we want more money, and they're giving it.
but they don't have
There's no-
accountability.
There's
for
no
said budget.
accountability at all.
And okay, this is your budget. If we did that at home, if you decided to go, buy a ton of streaming services and go fly to Vermont to go skiing or whatever it is, buy a new bulldozer that you can't afford, then you pay the consequence of that. And I think that that's part of the problem. Obviously, we all know they're not held to the same standards that we are.
Did you know if B would buy less animals, I'd have plenty of money for a bulldozer.
I don't think that's
True
it.
that.
The animals are making their own new
state-
animals.
The state of Kansas was talking about that if a job cost less than 100,000, they were trying to pass a bill that if it was less than 100,000, they didn't have to bid it out. So that doesn't seem right for competition to me. I don't know, it seems like a lot of.
And what happens is they'll break those up into different stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every job will be under $100,000.
That's exactly
Then
what
everybody's brother-in-law have a job.
It's under the claim that they have freedom to move when things are urgent. And if you happen to go out and get 3 to 5 bids on something when you got a broken pipe in the ground, it's got to be fixed now, then it gives them freedom to be able to do that. But that same freedom is the door into corruption as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it even happens here in super rural areas like where we're at, and I learned this when I was meeting with the commissioners that, the ambulance service, they had a cheaper bid. But because the guys, the one that they went with were local, originally from here, we're spending an extra $500,000 a year on a service.
But they're no longer here, right?
No, they don't live here anymore, but they're originally from here.
Because it was broke.
Well, I don't think it was a bro from a commissioner's perspective, but everyone in the community, this is a small town. Everyone was getting upset that they were even considering going somewhere else, and so they were getting some flack and some heat from the constituents. And then
But they don't own it anymore, right? Like they've
They
been
do.
sold out or something.
No, they own it.
There's
they own it, but we as a county subsidize them $500,000 a year.
But dollars have to make sense.
Mhm.
Dollars spent have to make sense.
I told our commissioner, if we're going to play the popularity game, we're never going to fix any of this.
Well, and I understand, I would absolutely pay. I can go get meat from somebody else, but I'd way rather spend a little bit more to get quality, good food from one of our friends here, who I know. I've been to their farm, I've seen their operation, I've met their family. Like, for me as an individual, that's our budget,
Well, I think,
but not for the state.
but I can see. But I think from the county, if we were going to spend a little bit more to keep the money local, I get that.
Sure.
There's some economic benefit in that.
Significantly more.
$500,000.
But would I be subsidizing? Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you guys ever rented an ambulance. I know that Mario has. Mario, let's talk about your vast experience in an ambulance. Are they cheap?
They are not cheap.
So why is the county subsidizing an ambulance service who then's going to charge the customer for that ride?
They
That's a
charge the
great
insurance company.
That's a great point. The only thing I could say is that if there's an on-call service for when they're not being able to rack up regular hours, then they would have to, that's where the subsidizing would come in place. In other words, we'd love to hire your services, but we want you to be on the ready for only us for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Well, we're only going to do like 10 calls a week. Great. Whatever you don't make out of those 10 calls, we'll make up for you over here on this end. And that I could see the reasoning and justification in, but at the tune of $500,000, I don't think so.
So does it make sense then to use that as a subsidy versus just raising their prices? I mean, why is the whole of the taxpayer funding it versus them?
Because I think at that point it becomes that you're just an independent company working for 911 as opposed to a county service that is a checked box that says we've got emergency medical services under control, and so.
Okay, but emergency, an ambulance service is not a required expenditure of the county.
Also,
Yeah, I
though,
don't
they
know.
pay
I don't have an
for,
answer for that.
insurance pays for it. When I had to be picked up a couple of years ago, they sent my insurance company the bill. And when I called, when I went through the whole couple months later when I got done and got the bills and stuff, they were like, I'm like, how come it's this much? Well, if you want to do a cash pay, it went from like $5,000 down to like 900. Like, wait, what? You're gonna charge my insurance company thousands of dollars, but you'll like
that whole deal's a scam. Hey,
what?
Yeah.
How many times have you been in an ambulance?
Twice. Sorry, twice.
Mike,
Twice.
47.
He says, I don't know.
No, he usually drives himself to the hospital, or he comes home all broken
Never.
and limps in bloody, and he's like, I need you to take me to the
I don't need an ambulance. That's
Who
what
were
duct
you
tape's
with?
for.
Whoever you
Right.
were with, they
Super
broke
glue.
you. They have to fix you.
Amber, you ever been in an ambulance?
Never.
B?
No.
This is an authority on it anyway.
Gotta be a service.
So if anybody has a question about the ambulance service, Mario is the guy.
I can tell you, you do not
flyer.
Yeah, he's a frequent flyer.
an ID.
So this week, there's a lot of other things going on besides getting ready for the festival, right? You and I are gonna put a water system in, hopefully. Right? We'll get to that.
We build a room, we build a
Yeah.
water system,
Yeah.
we check off whatever other boxes that we have for loose ends.
Yeah, I took every day off. So I've got a couple of straggler meetings, but I took the whole week off.
That's
So,
not normal.
yeah,
Get some stuff done.
yeah. And you guys are gonna be doing some planting, is that right?
We're gonna get a plan. Yeah. We're gonna plant.
There's a difference between
It's
a
like-
plan and planting.
Well, we're gonna get a plan and then we have to plant.
You're gonna plan.
There's
Yeah,
like
plant,
stuff popping out of that crate over there. I'm like, is that corn?
Is that what that is?
Is that
No.
knee high
You said you
already?
wanted to, well, I wanted to experiment to see how the corn would do in the bubble wrap snail rolls, and evidently
good.
They
it
did well.
really, because the roots, when you lift those up, they're like that long.
Oh.
Like beyond the 6 inches high.
Yeah, those look great.
Wow.
I don't know, they just wanted to grow.
Were,
Oh, I put
were
road
they in
test.
that the whole time or you? put them
No,
in
no, I
there?
had them in 10, 20 trays. And then to transport them, I put them in the crates.
Are you leaving, Shad Wife?
Easier.
I'm gonna go collect the rest of the ambers.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. And then like tomatoes and yeah, Mike is great. So I took the front bedroom and put up some banquet tables and then
Some? Like
Yeah.
more than one?
yeah,
Yeah.
just 2. And then put the grow lights underneath, and then I had these other wire crates, and then I put the heat mats underneath them.
Underneath the
And-
table?
Mhm. On the floor, I put the crates down and then put the heat mats on top of the little crates, and then put the 10, 20 trays on top of that, and hung the seed lamps over them, like at the grow lights.
To create like a tent.
And then I covered it with a couple of those like emergency blankets, like you keep in your car. Hey, you know, I didn't have a greenhouse.
It worked.
That sounds fantastic.
You know, you have a very handy husband. How come you don't have a greenhouse?
It's a long story. I told him to stop. So I have 2 of them sitting in the
We
barn.
do, there's a barn.
Okay,
We do.
so you have
They're
that.
still in
Okay,
the
yeah, I
boxes.
get
It's
it.
not up yet.
They're just in the barn
That's because we're not sure we're gonna lock down there
at
and
that
Yeah.
at that
that
property.
location, so
Yeah.
we're
It's got the fields are getting like the hay fields are doing fantastic now. Like the last couple of years of just they're looking good.
You know what we should do? We should do some grass trading.
Trading.
Yeah, so we'll get our stock trailer and haul 3 or 4 cows down there and let them graze all summer long, and then we'll raise you beef and me beef.
Well,
I
that's
will rotate them.
love
My
that.
uncle he
Yeah.
raises cattle, and we buy our cattle from other people. But he's like, you guys got good grass, and
Yeah.
when people around find out what property we bought, they're like, oh, the deer there are like
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
and that's great grazeland.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's send
great.
some cows down there to
We'd
graze.
love to do that.
That would be
Yeah.
All right.
amazing.
Deal.
You just gotta find a way to get them in
Why
and out
don't we
of.
just buy some down there?
Because it's not as fun.
Yeah.
Don't you want to interstate travel your bees?
Yeah.
I just thought maybe we just get more.
Oh, I see what
I
you're
was gonna
saying.
say,
Buy
wait a
more.
minute.
Got it. All right.
Isn't I
Works
was
too.
gonna say,
Yeah.
I feel like a lady's gonna throw at least one here soon, and
Actually, Moo is due the day of the festival.
how
Well,
cool
And you guys were here the last time.
Yes,
they
for
had-
Yeah.
both babies,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and Squatchy had twins the other day.
He did.
That was so cool.
Yeah, we
Why
need
don't you tell us about that?
They were so cute.
Oh, he can't talk. He's
No.
They,
He can comment. He can't talk. But I can send him an email and bring him in pretty easy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That'd be fun. You gotta see if he
Yeah.
wants to do it. Squatchy, nod your head if you want to do it.
Yeah, we can bring him in easy. Well, should we talk about what's going on in the world since we've got
No.
no?
No. I'm having a good day.
Yeah.
Since we're having a good
So what would you like to talk about, Mario?
That's all right. Go ahead. Talk about the good news.
Everybody has a plan until they get called out.
Everybody has a plan to get punched in the face. Mike Tyson.
Yep. So anything you guys watching? Anything that's because you know the world's a weird place right now.
No, I'm not watching anything right now. I've been busy just making phone calls and putting things like this together and staying busy, just taking advantage. My son came to town for like a week and a half. We get to go play and fish and kayak and do all kinds of fun stuff for forever. And we've been on a road trip, seeing the world and doing life and
we spent
all kinds of fun stuff.
a little over 6 weeks on the road,
Mm.
touring, and
And then how long were you home before you left to come up here?
A couple weeks.
Okay, so you got a break. You got a little
yeah,
time home.
we got enough time to start
Just to do laundry.
patching. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Enough time to start putting this stuff together and then put the cans together, throw it on the truck, and literally drive.
I mean, like
you know,
while we
till-
were on the road, we were making phone calls and connecting with people and sending emails and doing stuff like that. But it was like, okay, cool.
We got here like with 10 minutes to be able to eat before we had to before we got to go live. So
Yes,
yes,
we had the amazing opportunity to do the live.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, hey, it is an amazing opportunity.
Life is for living, you know. Do those things that make your heart happy and that bless other people. That's what it's about.
Maybe that's what we should talk about. Caleb, what you got going on your farm?
Oh, we're planning a concrete pour before here coming
Yeah,
up.
when are we doing that, by the way?
Well, I talked to American Roots. We're gonna get the plan to get all the forms and everything set this week
Okay.
at some point in time, and then from there it's a matter of getting the trucks over and getting it poured. So,
You know, I have a whole pallet of 2x6s we used to pour with. I have a whole pallet of them. They're
Forms.
concrete
for
boards,
that.
Like
you know,
forms.
that we just use them. They've been to every homestead. They've been, you know, because there's just no sense in buying them. They're already dirty. They're already concrete, you know?
Are you adding an addition or are you adding something separate?
Yes, we're adding a 20 by 20 foot garage area.
Did you get a permit?
We'll get a permit.
Yes, they don't
We'll
have to
get a
until they're going to
permit.
build on it.
Yeah, so yeah, we were talking about that just the other day. She's like, "Now, do we have to have a permit for the concrete?" I'm like,
No.
"No, not for the concrete, but I mean, they're gonna want it sooner or later, I'm sure." So yeah, so we gotta get that going and wait for the weather to cooperate and not rain, and now
Yeah.
that it's warm enough. So
Yeah, so you're going to pour, how thick a pad are you going to pour, do you know?
I was gonna go with 6 inches.
Yes,
and,
yeah.
And a 2-story.
Well, that's 1.5. We're not gonna go all the way up to 2. We're gonna do 1, so that it'll be like a little porch area eventually, like a back porch
Mhm.
style above a garage, and have raised ceilings so that we can have storage under that. And then what's our garage now, we're gonna eventually turn into like a processing kitchen. So
Mm.
and have all that extra space. So
Yeah.
and maybe get cupcake room away from everyone else. So.
So does she want to be away from everybody else, or do you guys want her away from everybody else?
Yes. Oh no, yeah. She's wanting her room in the basement, and so that's gonna facilitate that.
Yeah.
And then hopefully get everyone else, slowly fettered out into their own
Yeah.
living areas.
Yeah, you'll know we'll frame that in a weekend.
Yeah, that's what she's like. Just get it done. I'm like, yeah.
It won't
It all
take-
takes time, money, and work.
That's a little bit of, that's not really a great answer though, Caleb, because your wife has told me you guys have already allocated the money.
Yeah, well, I
So
mean,
it's sitting there in a pile waiting
it
for
is,
you to
it
spend
is,
it.
it is. Yes, it's there. The money's there. It's the time and the.
And once you have the building water tied in, then you can take your time,
It's great.
building, rooms or whatever
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah, so that's.
Now, and
This is
if
the
you
first
time
big
it
step.
just right, you gonna have any plumbing in that building?
I don't know. I was asked that. And
I
I
know
was like, I
plumbing.
hadn't thought about it, but then he made a couple good points, and I was like, now it's something else I got to consider because I wasn't going to because it was just a garage.
Walk
But
the door and people.
Yeah.
right.
Okay, so here's some planning going backwards. The next festival is July the 11th,
Okay.
right? That's the 4th of July festival,
Mhm.
which means we might have a Mario in the house at the time. Just saying.
If you plan some plumbing projects.
If there's a project to be planned around, that would be
I'm
a good
saying,
time
you know.
to maybe consider it.
Anybody that wants to get on my calendar, my schedule, call tag.
Call tag, we'll get it on there.
He's in cahoots with my wife.
I did tell him when he came and asked me if we wanted to do the spring thing. I said, you need to talk to my social coordinator. So
Let's see, let's put this up there.
remember, Caleb?
Yeah.
He kept on not talking.
Whisper Creek says Galatians 5:13 is why we do this community stuff. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love.
Amen. Well
I
said.
like that. That was a good comment. Yeah. So, anything else? Mushrooms?
Yeah. Yes and no. I took a little hiatus with the baby. It's kind of hard to have sterile conditions with 5 kids, 2 dogs.
I bet their immune
Chickens.
systems rock.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they hardly ever get sick. There was a span where everyone passed it back and forth for like a month, and I was like, I'm not going to get it. I'm staying away from everybody, and then I got it. My immune system, it took me down a lot harder than them, but yeah, no, they're great immune system.
You guys done any gardening yet? Started any of that stuff yet?
Yeah, that's actually what I was doing up until I got ready for the live today. I was trying to get stuff in because we were getting rain.
Oh, good call.
Potatoes, onions, salads, chard,
Yep.
kale,
Yep, good call.
onions, more onions, and yeah. We're so far behind on everything else stuff, that we want.
You got
plan,
time.
but yeah, that's what I said.
You're not
It'll be
really
okay.
behind.
It'll be okay. One way or another, food will come. So
Yeah, most of our garden won't even go in till, we won't be outside till May,
yeah.
right? A lot of it,
Yeah.
not all of it, but,
So some of those might
Oh, yeah,
oh, cool. That could go in.
that's gotta go.
or
in.
the
What
squash too, or like
Squash.
tag
Tag's
squash.
favorite.
We are
Yeah.
growing food for
Acorn,
other people
butternut,
as well.
spaghetti.
So you're gonna have to eat it.
Tomatillos?
tomatillos are also good for livestock food too.
Mm.
So not just
People.
people, and if you cut them small, then you can eat them like zucchinis.
Zucchini.
Or if you
Yum.
let them
You
get,
like zucchini?
he likes zucchini bread. You've eaten zucchini bread. I have
That's right.
baked it.
Yeah,
You've
right,
eaten
yep.
it.
And you know what? If you guys want to grow all the zucchini you want, it all ends up in zucchini bread, I'm in.
You don't want
I'm like, I know you eat that. 'cause-
cut in half with some cheese and some pepperoni
It's
and
not
sugar on it.
ridiculous.
No. Some
What is wrong with
butter,
you?
melted butter.
No, but you could saute them and put them on a filet mignon.
What?
That'd be
And then I'll flick them off as I eat it.
Right, the zucchini.
Yeah.
Butter it up so it
So
slides
you
off
guys,
easy.
Jen, you and Mike planting anything? Any gardening you doing?
So we just did some in our green stalks. And we've got tomatoes, some patio style ones. What did I put in there? Oh goodness. The tomatoes, lettuce. I have a couple of the smaller,
You already put tomatoes out in it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it time for you guys for
Well,
tomatoes?
I
out there?
have the tower covers too. So
And if you grow them inside your front bedroom,
I don't have
There's
the
plenty
green
more in
socks
there.
inside, but
Should bring the green socks
they do
inside.
have the bases have the plugs so that you don't, so it won't leak on the floor too. So
So you could wheel it in if you got a frost.
absolutely.
I wonder how many of the ladies in the audience tonight grow their tomatoes in their bedroom.
It's
started.
actually technically your bedroom.
Oh,
You
my
can-
bedroom. Nice.
It overlooks the river. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
You gotta start them somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. And there was a time before we had the infrastructure we have now, you were growing stuff all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Use it up, wear it out, make do, or
That's
do
right.
without. We're in
That's
the
right.
make do part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, being able to have your own food is
Paramount.
wonderful.
Are you gonna try to get all the tomatoes started and all that stuff here soon?
Yeah.
Because you got all the trays in the greenhouse all
Yep.
filled with dirt and ready to go, right?
Yep, I got the taxes like just about done.
Taxes.
And then Yeah, there was a couple of, I was almost done. No kidding. I was almost done, and then I had found a couple of other things that I was like, ooh,
Does
I
it-
don't want to leave that out.
It feels like to me like we're always doing taxes.
We are always doing taxes.
Well,
I mean,
not-
every day you buy something, you're doing taxes.
I guess that's technically true. I mean, it seems like to me
Gotta file
you're
receipts.
always working on taxes.
Because it's constant.
Bookkeeping.
Yeah.
So
And he's a job collector, so I have a lot of different entities.
He's a job collector.
I am kind of a job
You
collector.
are. That's
Yeah.
really.
But you don't complain when you get a new tractor.
I like tractors.
Yeah. You don't complain when you get
No,
a new Jeep. You don't
No.
complain, right?
Our new cow.
Right, or cows.
I like cows.
And
Just
goats.
don't like the taxes.
Mhm.
By the way, you get is your goat still going to have a
Yes,
baby any day?
Any day now.
I even took a picture and sent it to Louise, and she goes, "You're right, any day now." And I was like, "I know, right? How can that be?"
Bee's been telling me this goat's going to have a baby for
Any
month.
day.
Any day now.
Well, can you see like the baby doing like
Swore.
this, moving in her belly?
Did you
No.
find out it's a boy?
No, but I was like, I can show you pictures. And then he was like, no. Like,
I don't
they're-
wanna see.
she's ready.
Yeah, Mark Baldwin says he does Abraham Lincoln heirlooms. I don't know what that is, but I hope you're coming on the 11th, Mark, and I hope we can do some trading for seeds because people love that kind of stuff.
We did Abe Lincoln's.
What is going on in the world today, Tag? Maybe you can bring me up to speed.
This is a great comment. I will bring you up to speed. David says, have you noticed any savings on your grocery bill from growing some of your own food? No. No.
Established infrastructure, but what I do know is that my food is significantly cleaner. I
It's
know
better.
that if I didn't
Yeah.
wash my hands while I handled my produce, then that was my fault.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you spend way more growing your own food because the amount of time that goes into it, the amount of energy that goes into it, it's way cheaper just to go buy it at Walmart.
Depends on how you quantify it. Because if you're not taking money out of your pocket to go out and work the land, then it's not costing you more money. You're not going to the grocery store, pulling out your Benjamins and handing them over to somebody at the register to buy your food. But you've put your money into the infrastructure up front. So there's your initial investment. But were you going to live anyway with water? Were you going to put a well in anyway? Were you going to have a house? Were you going to have land to separate you from your neighbor? And even if you didn't have that land, what were you going to do with your backyard? Landscape it? Well, landscape it with planters and so on and so forth. So
Yeah, but from my perspective, I could spend that same hour making money.
understood. So that's what I said. It depends on how
So
you
it's-
quantify it. So
Yeah, it's the most expensive tomato ever in the history of the world.
how happy is your wife?
End of the day.
I know for me, I am super happy when my fingernails are full of soil and I'm like, oh, this is so good. And I think it does help because you know that, you're grounding, you're touching that. I love it.
So if you're going to quantify it to time is money,
Mhm.
well, then you should just go to work, make money,
Yeah.
and pay somebody else to grow your food.
Yeah, well, I
A lot
think,
of people do.
yeah, but for me, the more expensive tomatoes, it's worth paying more money because of the quality of product.
As I say, it actually tastes like a tomato.
Yeah.
You go
Yeah,
to-
but it's not,
Tastes
but to his point, it's not cheaper.
Doesn't taste like
It's cheaper to go buy a 50-cent tomato at Walmart.
Yeah, but it's cheaper to buy poison.
I was gonna say.
That's true.
It also
And then
doesn't
you're
taste like a tomato. It
Yeah.
tastes
Tastes
more
like
watered
styrofoam.
down or something.
Yeah, Squatchy wants to know what's your health worth.
It's
Yeah,
disappointing.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
I don't want to eat a tomato that tastes like disappointment and yuck and
Bad decisions.
food-like
are
product.
Yeah.
Bad decisions, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not, are words that I can't pronounce,
Yeah. Today if I see a yellow yolk, I'm like,
right? Because you get
they're
used
not,
to that.
they're not supposed to be yellow. They're orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not yellow.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
saw a thing saying that they can change the color of the yolk just by what they're feeding the
Oh, really?
chickens.
Well, it
So,
seems like ours are always bright orange.
well, ours eat outside whatever they get.
That's the antifreeze they're drinking. You're not allowed to-
I hope they're not drinking antifreeze. We don't have a whole lot of that leaking, I hope.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, gratitude to Grace says, It's not cheaper cost-wise, but the value is much higher.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great way to say that, yeah.
Value.
In every way, measurable and immeasurable. Yeah, that's perfectly said. Yeah.
And your wife's happier. Yes.
Nurse Lane says not to mention the mental health benefit from working in the garden. Yeah, Scotchy says pay it now so we don't have to pay big pharma later.
Mhm.
So it's worth the cost.
Agreed.
But if all you're worried about is money, it is cheaper to go buy it.
True story.
It's cheaper not to eat it in the first
It's
place.
cheaper just to starve to
Yeah.
death. Got
Don't eat the tomato.
Mhm.
Go eat something else.
it. I'm gonna remember this conversation. This conversation won't void well for you down the road, but that's okay. I play the long game.
No, I know. Unfortunately.
Sorry, thinking of the ways this.
I know, I'm like, oh, this could be bad.
It's all coming around back to the bulldozer. He's gonna get the
It's-
bulldozer.
I'm gonna get a bulldozer.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Let's see here. David says, do any homesteaders that sell any of their produce at farmers markets? If you're talking about our community, yeah, there's a lot of people in the community that sell a lot, their animals, their
Yeah, jams,
vegetables,
jellies,
their jams,
sushi.
jellies, soaps, beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them do. Me and B don't, but a lot of them do. For me, it's until I can meet 100% of my needs, I see no point in selling personally. I just don't.
I think too that goes with sharing with some of the other families as well,
Yeah.
because I mean I've personally witnessed that the last couple of years. Like
Yeah.
some people didn't have a great
Yeah.
crop of whatever, and
Yeah.
they're deficient over here, so
Yeah.
help them out.
Yeah, it's been real fun for me to watch the community from a food growing perspective because it's maturing.
Mhm.
You know, it's slow, but
Mhm.
it's maturing, and you got more and more people getting involved in it, and there's more people that come and help me now, and those kind of things, and it's cool to help because they don't come to help put food on our table; they come to put food on their table,
And learn.
and that's what we should be doing.
Yeah.
We have a lot of infrastructure here, so as people are building and doing those things, they can still participate in gardening and growing until they learn where they want to put it. That's half the problem. Believe it or not.
Well,
People are like,
maybe-
I don't know where to put it yet.
That makes sense. I know. I mean, us coming up here for the last couple of years,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, I didn't think of about that. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
Okay, well, if we did it that way, then we can
Yeah.
adjust over here. So, I mean, I think that taking all of the watching of what different people that we've been to different homes around
Mm-hmm.
here are doing and being able to apply that, what we've learned.
Yeah.
It has been wonderful.
Yeah, you learn. There's all kinds of things I would do different. One of the big debates B and I had early on in this process was, do we want the garden closer to the house or the animals? You kind of got to pick one. Because of where my house is.
Right.
Yeah,
For
you're
how your
getting
property
you're getting
structured,
one or the other, and we decided to put the animals closer because you tend to them so much more frequently, and so you're walking further for the garden. But I don't know that if I could do it again, if I'd have done it that way again.
Why?
Because although you tend to the garden, if you look at it from a calendar year less, right? But when you do, it's a lot longer. It's a lot like there's seasons that come where it's super intensive.
You're supposed to have them in your zone
Yes.
too. Your zone
Yeah.
1. Zone
Yeah.
2, yeah.
Versus like the animals, they're a 15-minute or 30-minute chore once a day or whatever, and it's over. The gardens, like there's days B goes into the garden, I'm leaving, I'm pulling out of here to go to work, and I'm pulling in, and she's just in a different garden. It's 9.5 hours later, and it's the same thing. So
Yeah.
that would be nicer to be closer to the house from that perspective.
So it sounds like we need to put a bathroom in for her at her barn so it's closer for her.
Dude, my wife, she's a peeing outside machine, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, thanks for letting everybody know.
We did that too till our neighbors moved in full time on their property, and I'm like, oh, why do you have to be there?
Still good. It just makes it more awkward.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Sarah.
Whisper Creek says, I spent a ridiculous money on store-bought heirloom tomatoes because all of the rest of them taste like styrofoam. I like that.
It tastes like disappointment.
Yeah, Mark says, I got a farmer's market started down the road. It just needs support from customers. Let's talk about it, Mark.
Awesome.
Next time we hang out, let's sit down and have a conversation, and I'll make some connections. You should come to April 11th, and I can connect you to lots of people around here who sell produce. Let's see here. Whisper Creek says, one of these years my garden will work, and I want to sell at your farmer's market. Oh, yeah, cool.
As style, you know.
People don't realize how much work goes into food production. Yeah, this is
That's the truth.
this is actually one of the reasons that really brought me to I Needed Community was food, because I figured out I could buy my way out of energy independence. I could buy my way, out of water. Right? You can dig wells, you can buy tanks, there's a lot of things you can do. You can buy your way out of those problems. You are not buying your way out of food production. You're sweating your way out of it. You are not buying your way out of it. You can just buy your food, but you cannot produce your food without that other kind of equity. And it just really got me thinking that there's no way this is years ago. There's no way B and I can grow our own food. And I'm telling you, there's no way.
What about bartering your way through some of it?
Yeah, you can. This is why community, this is what I'm saying. This is where community came into play, was that I could get, and you're still not going to get all of it. The ability to be 100% self-sufficient is a dream. Never have. In my opinion, you'll never reach it. But I think you can get really close. I think you can get maybe 80% or 85%.
Even look at like our grandparents and stuff like that. My mama and papa, they had a dairy farm. They had huge gardens. My papa sold watermelons and strawberries commercially from their farm. And they still had to trade for corn or for the corn mill and different things like that, where you're like, okay, so-and-so down the road is growing pigeon peas and we need those, because they use part of, pigeon peas for animal fodder too, to feed the dairy cows.
When I think of the
How cool is that?
perfect community, I think of it like a modern version of Little House on the Prairie. Where, what was the main guy's name? I forgot. Charles. So Charles, the Ingalls, they farmed what they wanted, they grew what they wanted, but when the barn needed built, the neighbors showed up. Right?
Or when he hurt his shoulder and all the ladies had to come out and help do the planting.
Or if there's a fire, everyone comes running. But they lived with sovereignty. But the community helped on all that other big stuff. And because again, I don't think you can do it. Because even you're talking about your grandpa, I bet he had to buy tires.
All kinds of stuff. But that's why they networked with some of the other farmers in the area. That was the thing. So to be able to get that stuff, my mama didn't have a loom where she was making the cloth to make the dresses that we wore and those kind of things. Like I have polyester outfits, a quilt that my mama made from clothes that I wore back in the 70s.
I'll bet you that if we had 20 homesteads that all had cows, making this up, that you could come up with enough excess to trade for all your fabric, to trade for your tires for your cars, to trade for your oil changes, to trade for your salt, to trade for the things we don't have access to.
It's that responsible farming though, because if you look at, this is going to get down to things like soil depletion, and are you properly rotationally grazing? Are you, being a responsible steward? And that's super critical as well.
Yeah.
There's so much to it. It's
You're
so
there to let
amazing.
you know real quick if you're not.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
you can only over harvest for so long before you're starting.
Exactly.
Yeah, off grid is easy. Off matrix is impossible. You just how do you do
We
that?
don't have cacao beans to make chocolate for the milk.
Right. And if you want coffee,
Brown cows do not do chocolate milk. Like that's not how it works.
you're really peeing on my parade tonight.
You gotta get chocolate somewhere else.
Well, I think that's a great. How many people drink coffee?
Oh yeah,
Lots.
100%.
How you ever gonna get coffee?
50
And let me tell you, my wife
Cherry.
has made me chicory coffee.
It's not the same.
That's not coffee.
It's dirty water.
Have though.
That is, I
When you
mean,
want it,
wild chicory grows all over in the ditch.
It's not coffee.
I
but
know
if
it's
that's
not.
all you could get, wouldn't you want it?
I would take that, or you could just take some dirt and throw it in a glass and mix it up. It's the same thing.
It's a true story.
Warm it up, and
It still has no caffeine in it.
Yeah.
and I bet you the dirt has more minerals in it than the chicory. But it is not coffee.
Just throw a little dandelion in there with.
I
No,
will next time.
no. She roasted it. She roasted the roots in the oven.
Mhm.
You know, then chopped it up, and for a while dried it, and for a while she was mixing it in my coffee.
Cafe du Monde
Yeah,
style.
to make the coffee last a little longer.
You're like, I don't know what you're doing, but
Yeah.
don't do
Don't.
it anymore.
Don't.
Yeah, no.
There's something right. I think this batch is bad.
Yeah. By the way, Caleb, you guys get any closer to working on solar? How are you guys going to do that? Because you've got pretty much everything you need, right?
For the most part, yeah. One step at a time. No, that's part of the garage. We're gonna set up the battery station there,
In there?
the addition and everything, and that's kind of gonna springboard that whole
Yeah.
project to be able to build an array.
Yeah, I've
And
got
then
a couple people that I've talked to recently who want to put an order in for panels,
Okay.
like we did that last
Yes.
semi-load.
Yeah.
That'd probably be good.
Yeah.
So it might be good to maybe
all-
we should
Yeah,
work on getting it a
definitely.
load and see how many homesteads are interested in solar panels again. I can get a semi-load. You know, we bought
You're interested.
the
Yeah.
565. This building has 565 watt panels on it, so big ones. And I think it was $106 a piece, $108 a piece.
Wow.
They were
Yeah.
I thought, yeah.
Is that about right? Do you remember what the
Even
price
if they
was?
were,
I think that's
Is
what
that
you
about right?
told me. It's about $106, $110 somewhere around there.
That was 4 years ago, or 3 years ago. But
So it'll be 200 now.
no, it actually typically a lot of times tries to go down on those.
Right.
Provided with the price to make them
Right.
import the products and stuff. Because the good news is that everything is totally fine for shipping in the world.
Now, do your panels require silver?
They require silver to be
Components.
made. Yeah,
So
Yeah.
that would tell me that it would have gone up because
Yeah.
silver more than tripled from what it was a year
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
yeah. I think
Well,
it's
right now it's a little over double. But
more copper than anything, but even that.
Copper, yeah. Copper
You know.
and aluminum have gone up.
Yeah, I would expect to see mass inflation coming.
thank you.
No.
Appreciate that.
I'm just telling you.
It's
I think the stock market is going to take an ass kicking too.
Appreciate that too.
Yeah.
Is this where the good news comes in?
That is-
So the
That
good
is
news.
good.
Okay.
Let's see here. I don't even know what that is. What is? This is a U
I
word.
can't see.
Yupon. YAUPON.
I can't see.
was it your squash? I don't know. No?
Yeah, Mark says I use Yupon in my mead. I don't know what Yupon is.
In mead?
Mead is like a honey
Honey.
wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You use
Like
that?
the root. Is that what he's
Yucca?
referring to?
Yukon?
You can clarify.
It says Yupon.
Yeah, I wonder if he's one is. I don't know.
Oh, that's because Instigator says that we help to give you some context.
Oh, yeah.
For what?
Oh, context.
Coffee tea substitute is Yupon holly, North America's only native caffeine plant.
Oh.
There you go. There's a caffeine plant.
There we go. Yeah, Instigator, if I read back just a little bit further, we'd be good to go. Yeah, sorry, my bad. I didn't know that holly had caffeine in it.
With that
It's
being
probably
said, his
specific.
mead with the hibiscus and stuff is delicious.
By the way, did you make any meat out of all that fermenting honey?
I have made some. Yeah.
Is it
Yeah, we got a
We-
gallon
yeah.
of
Oh,
it.
did we?
Yeah.
We got a
I
gallon
still
of.
have it. Yeah,
Of
from
the-
Kate, from him.
Oh, we should break it out.
A
Oh.
little over half of the bucket left, and I forgot to grab it. I looked at it; it was in the apothecary.
Is it
and I was like,
fermenting?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
With
great
water.
for bread and things like that. So
Yeah.
you can still use it for bread, but I thought he would be way more appreciated if Caleb to make, his meat out of it.
I actually have probably around 4 more gallons I have to re-rack and then start the process over again.
How
So,
exciting!
yeah.
You get any you can bring to the 11th?
I have some that I could.
Well, it starts at noon, so.
So if we start drinking at noon, by 4, I'll be out.
Fantastic.
By 4.
Karaoke will be
Perfect time for
great
karaoke,
then.
yeah.
Half a glass. How fun. Yes.
So why do you think we're going to have a crash in the stock market and then all that
Oh
stuff
my
on
goodness.
fire?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things going on. Why does I could give back write a book here? Why is China stockpiling oil and grain? Why is Russia stockpiling oil and grain? Right?
Food and fuel. Why are they stockpiling precious metals?
Why are they doing that? Why are they all quiet? when all of this stuff is going on? You know, why is it that half of Europe is now talking about banding together to fight America? Right? Why do we have the stuff going on in the States where, I mean, we are clearly divided. You know, you have a whole liberal left buying guns saying it's time to stop this dictator. Right? I mean, you just look at all the writing on the wall.
What are you
It's
seeing
not-
that's showing that the liberals are buying guns?
Oh, there's social media posts and news articles, and you know, this has been going on for a while. This is nothing new. What I'm saying is you've got the what I would consider the deep state, and then what I would consider the statists, right, or the nationalists, right, in our country. And I mean, I don't see any middle ground. I don't care what the idea is. I got an argument the other day, a mild argument. We were talking about voter ID with a lady right here in Holton, right here where I live. And she's like, oh, it's going to make it so hard.
I think it's Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, on Facebook, yeah. It's going to make it so hard. I said, come on. They have to have an ID in order to apply for benefits if you're worried about poor people. Old people have to have an ID to go to the doctor, to get Medicare and Medicaid. This should not be controversial in any way. No, it's a Trump idea. It's a bad idea. It's all bad. You know, I don't see in our country how we're ever going to find any middle ground. Not in my lifetime. I mean, it's going to be a long time. And when somebody hates just for the purpose of hate, right? I don't know how you heal that. Now take that on one little bubble. Now let's look at the financial system. We're $39 trillion in debt. Okay, housing market has gotten almost unreachable for most people. Full-time employment's down across the United States of America. More people hold multiple jobs today than have ever in the history of the United States of America. Okay, that does not paint a good picture. Personally, in my business, tariffs and the things that are going on, just getting supplies is rough. The market itself, the economy for the small guy has been down for a long time. You know, right about the time Trump got elected, manufacturing fell off a cliff. And I know this because I do it. You know, you don't see it because on the reports, because the billionaires, that upper class is doing really well right now. So that's how they say the economy is doing good, and you know, all those things. So you got all this chaos going on at home. Then you start adding in, we're getting ready to leave NATO, looks like to me, right? You've got France, Italy, Germany, all of these countries saying, hey, you ain't flying out of our air bases. You know, Trump goes down and I don't want to bash Trump here, but, you know, hey, we've got Iran, we've whooped their ass. They can't even launch a missile. 2 F-15 fighter jets were shot down today. You know, it's a joke. It's a complete joke. It's a complete laughing stock. Russia is not happy about it. China is not happy about it. We've expended 20% of our Tomahawk cruise missiles we've used in Iran. You know, I mean, it's sure looks like to me that this is much greater than an Archduke Ferdinand moment.
So what do you think our real reason for being on Iran is?
Oh, easy. This is super simple. I know for a fact that there are people in high levels of the government that are planning on war with China by 2030. I know this with 100% certainty. So because of this, if you take Venezuela and you take Iran, you hurt China's ability to wage war. This is nothing about anything other than oil.
Resource war.
That's all it is. And now you've got Ukraine. It's not a coincidence that Ukraine is attacking Russia's oil supplies. 20% of Russia's oil supplies are completely offline, and another 20% are about offline, which that's 40% of their oil producing capabilities. So you've eliminated Venezuela, Iran, and 40% of Russia's. This is about World War III.
So is it a bad strategy to be prepared then, strategically, to not let your enemy be more prepared?
Go into that deeper. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So meaning that if you're slowing the supply of oil and energy or whatever China is going to need from those two countries you just mentioned, then is that a strategic move in advance on our part?
Oh, 100%. If I knew I was president of the United States and I knew that I was headed to World War III in 3 years, which I'm telling you, this is what they're planning. They're banking on this thing. Okay. If I knew that, absolutely, 100%. And in fact, I'll go even further, Mike, to tell you it's the only thing that makes any sense.
So then if it's making sense in that way, but they can't necessarily come right out and say that in advance, then is it such a bad thing for us to be in Iran?
So let me ask you something though, in this equation, who's the bad guy?
I don't know.
China has an attack.
Seconds on the US.
Yeah.
This is the problem. This is the problem right here. Because China hasn't attacked a foreign adversary in forever.
Let me just back up for just one second on the China thing, and I'll just give you a quick, just a quick little blip. We're driving through Barstow, California.
I gotta interject because they haven't kinetically attacked us, but I can say unequivocally that there are a lot more. Trying to buy a house in California and Arizona, you get beat out by cash buyers who are Chinese nationals, period. And I could give you the name of 10 realtors right now, 10 brokers that would tell you exactly that.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, the whole communist movement is all about what? Domination. And so if you look at what they did to us in COVID, why was there never any accountability for COVID? And then just what I was going at with this blip was like, we're driving through Barstow, California. We see this like really weird, like obscure art on the side of the road. And there are these big giant sculptures of like just a guy, like a skull with spikes coming out of its head and stuff. And we roll into it and we said, let's go sightsee for a minute. And it was all about how the Chinese put it up on our land, but they were native, but they were citizens.
They were
and then
American.
they put these monuments up to speak out against what communism in
the
China was
CCP
all
was
about. And then they burned these things down and they came back and they rebuilt them again. And there was several of them, and I'll show you pictures of them later, but one of them was like Constantine wire in a mountain of skulls and somebody trying to climb out of the pit to get through it. And so as soon as this like Chinese family comes rolling up, and I asked the guy, not to be weird, but like, are you familiar with what this is all about? And he fully broke down the story and just said,
tears.
He's like, I was there. I lived this. I'm like, we got in this long conversation about what is China about? What is it? What religion do you guys have? We don't have a religion. The Communist Party is the religion. Everything in our life is censored. Everything about what we're doing is censored.
I'm not suggesting, Mike, that China's the good guy. What I'm suggesting is that Chinese military bases aren't completely surrounding the United States, but United States military bases are completely surrounding China to this day. American military bases have completely surrounded Russia. It's not the other way around. And yes, it absolutely has been economic warfare.
However, the CCP, the Chinese company, because we know that none of their people get to do anything without their say-so. The very land in Manhattan that the Federal Reserve Bank sits on is owned by a Chinese corporation. It's not like our Federal Reserve here in America. So the Chinese, we don't get to own property in China.
So if we instead just said, hey, we're going to become nationalists, which is kind of Trump's way, a lot of way, take care of America, kick the foreigners out of America, that would avoid World War III. Is the question, right? Because, well, I don't know. I mean, again, how long has it been since someone's attacked us?
Yeah. Then we start to get well, it happens daily. It's just not, look at all the drugs that they're helping to fund.
Yeah, I'm talking more military attacks.
Yeah, I'm saying though that what the Chinese government did in the Darien Gap by building the accesses through there during COVID and helping and putting camps up. And I've seen tons of the videos. We know one of the kids from our old neighborhood that he helped do some of the videography stuff for that, where they were putting those compilation videos together. And
so if you were completely surrounded by a military you couldn't compete with, how would you fight back? Right? You'd fight back economically. You'd fight back, right? Because this is the thing that a lot of people don't understand, that for China and Russia, there's nowhere left for them to retreat to.
Yeah, but they're infiltrating our country.
I get
their
it.
people.
I'm not suggesting they're the good guy.
Didn't Lenin say, we'll destroy the country without ever firing a shot?
Yeah.
I mean, that's been the goal the whole time, right? I mean, so they're just on schedule.
Yeah.
It's their plan. That's been the plan. Give me your child until he's 5, I'll give you the man. It's the whole Communist Manifesto thing. They know what they're doing. It's a 100-year war. They plan strategically. You can take over a country without firing a shot, without being the aggressor. You just got to plan better.
And it might be unpopular, but I think at the end of the day, we have so many problems at home. We have no business over there. I'm sorry that they're a bad regime. I'm sorry that Iran's hurting its people, whatever. We got a lot of problems at home. You know, I mean, Trump just, it was yesterday, said there is no time for Social Security or daycares. We have to go fight a war.
We need to repatriate the people who don't belong here too.
100%. Well, and I think we need to get the nuclear family back together because we've lost our patriotism. We've lost. It's where it starts. You know, that's what I'm saying. We have so much work to do at home. Why are we messing with any of that stuff?
The housekeeping needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But is the government's responsibility to make us become better patriots, or is it community?
It's community.
Yeah.
The government can't make you do it at all.
Exactly. So that work at home doesn't have anything to do with what they're doing in China or Russia. The work at home needs to be done by us.
Yeah.
And, you know, you go back to John Kennedy of ask not what your country can do for you, what you can do for your country. And I think we've lost that spirit. 100%.
Why would you want to do for a country that enslaves you the way it does today? I mean, that's the problem, is that
Yeah.
we've gone down this road of, oh, I'm sorry, we just lost $3 trillion. Oh, I'm sorry, this, you know, the Somali daycare fraud, we've lost. Our country has no faith in its government anymore.
Or the
Understood, but
California
where
one.
else are you going to go to take your faith and your beliefs? And that's going to be received and
Not there.
not where?
There's nothing you can do on the federal level to change any of that stuff.
No, I understand, but what I'm saying is if you're that business and you're making money and you've lost your patriotism, you don't want to support your country anymore because your money's not going to the things you want to go to, where else are you going to take your business and your body and your family and move to that's going to be better than what we have right now?
Oh, yeah, no. I'm not going anywhere. This is my country. I just don't approve of what's going on right now, but I ain't going anywhere.
Sure.
I mean, I think the answer is what you do is you invest locally. You try to go to do a town hall meeting and get involved with the school board, and you build community, and you do that because I don't think there's a political solution to the federal problem. I don't see any way
that
that
you can do federally. It's got to start locally first. Like
Correct.
you said, it's got to start with the
Correct.
family, and then it's got to bleed to the community,
Yeah.
which then bleeds
Yeah.
to the bigger community, i.e. Holton County level, and then the state level. You got to start small and work your way up because you'll never chip away at the mountain. Starting with the mountain, you got to start with the rock first.
It's the people meeting under the tree.
Right. Right.
David says, has anyone you know built a bunker? Oh, yeah. I know lots of people that have built
Mike
bunkers.
used to professionally do the plumbing and air stuff on lots of bunkers. So
Yeah, gratitude for grace. And it's 2 hours, but
sitting in them.
this is a gratitude to grace says our country doesn't belong to the government, it belongs to the people. It has been stolen from us and we need to resolve it and take it back.
it's ants and grasshoppers. But we can say that because we've all said that. I mean, for how many years have we all said those same kind of things? But if and until something happens where people are like, I've had enough, and it can't just be one or two families or a small group of people, it has to be something that's going to make that collective. George Washington spent 7 years on the back of a horse. 7 years.
Yeah. And how do you do
Fighting
that
that.
with a country that's so divided?
That's
That's the
exactly
answer.
right.
That's-
We
yeah.
had the same thing,
Yeah.
even with the Civil
Yeah.
War, going through all of that
Yeah.
stuff. And you had people who wanted it to remain the same and people who didn't want it to remain the same. And you had literally brother against brother.
So if you were the government and you were in charge and you knew you were going to face either a civil war or a revolution, which do you pick?
I think I'd rather choose a revolution than a civil war.
If you were the government?
So if you're the
Not
government,
really.
it's
Civil
Not if you're
war.
the government. You'd want a
That-
civil
that-
war
that-
because
that-
they take out each other
There you
a
go.
lot.
There you
Yeah.
go. That was my point.
Yeah.
That was my
Shake
exact
these
point.
and take out each other.
Right.
Yeah, and I think there's just a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people are preparing. A lot of people are talking about
It's ants and
government.
grasshoppers.
It's spooky to me. In a lot of ways. But hey, listen, it's 2 hours, so I think as we get out of here, the Crooked Little Homestead says my country's screwed. Yes, Canada is absolutely 100% screwed. Yeah.
Did you, just curious, did you see Cricket Homestead, or did you see the thing that they had on there with all of the transgender, LGBTQ, everything else, the cards that they were handing out to the
No.
people?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man,
The
what an
privilege
embarrassment.
cards.
The privilege cards, what an
Privilege cards.
embarrassment.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It's the order
yeah.
you speak in
Yeah.
and what you.
All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Caleb,
Okay.
why don't you start us off with what's your parting words for tonight?
Oh,
Yes, we got to do that. We do that every single live. Mike, how many lives you been to? Mike, this is. I'm a creature of habit.
It starts with you. If you want change, it starts with you. It's got to be at home first, and then community. You got to get with like-minded people and actually do it. The intent we talk about all the time. It's got to be intentional, and you can't just complain about change and expect it to happen. You have to be the change you expect to see.
Amen. Mario?
I heard a good quote the other day, and I'll probably screw it up, but it was something along the lines of, the truth is like a lion. If you set it free, it will go out and fend for itself.
Oh, that's a great quote.
Yeah. You sound like a rabbit when you say
Yeah.
that.
Great, it is a great quote.
Yeah. What about you, Tinfoil Newbar?
Tinfoil. It's not a conspiracy.
It's true. Literally showed up last time with the tinfoil.
My parting words would be get used to being uncomfortable, because when you're comfortable and you're sedentary and you're just going through that motion, you are not growing. When that seed is pushing up out of the ground and it's struggling to break free of its shell to reach that sun and that rain and all of that, it is struggling.
Yeah.
Get used to being uncomfortable so that you can grow.
What do you think, Punk?
I like hers.
Can't steal it.
I can share.
How about to find your purpose?
That's good. Yep, you talked a lot about that tonight. About why you participate in all this craziness.
Yep.
Right, because you feel called to do it.
Life without purpose is like a ship without a rudder.
Yeah, I think for me, stay convicted, be intentional. I think those are both super big things. The world's a mess, and it's going to continue to be a mess. There is no way they're going to legislate their way out of this. There's zero chance. And so it definitely will get harder before it gets better. But I think with community, we can do it, which is why we're doing what we're doing.
And having fun.
Yep, and having fun along the way, right? And
Okay, so we see all the shenanigans that happen.
and there's plenty of those.
So come and visit us next
Yeah,
Saturday.
Come visit us next Saturday. We'll see you. I hope we'd love to see as many of you guys as we can on the 11th. The next one will be July the 11th, which will be the 4th of July festival. We'll keep you guys updated, and we'll do a live on Friday, probably with a whole cast of people. And I guess until then, Caleb out, Mario out, Tinfoil out,
Be out.
tag out. See you guys in a week.
Peace.